समस्तजन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Today we will discuss on verse number 66. That 66, 67 and 68 verses are the concluding verses. Why Bhagavan has composed 66th sloka? Because in previous sloka verse, we came to know that who is having the Jnana Chakshu, the eye of wisdom, he can know his own Swarupa. But there is some Purva Abhyasa Janita Samskara, some impression inside the Antakarana, in our instrument, which we carry lives after lives. And that is out of ignorance, because we born because of ignorance. There is no other cause. So if the ajnanam or ignorance is still there because of the previous lives impression or samskara, then what is the use of atmajnana, self-knowledge? So 66th sloka is telling, Shravanadibhihi uddipta jnanagniparitāpitaha. Shravanadibhihi uddipta jnanagniparitāpitaha. Jiva sarvamalan muktaha Swarnavat dyotate swayam. Jiva sarvamalan muktaha Swarnavat dyotate swayam. Wonderful sloka. Together. Sravanadibhihi uddipta Jnanagniparitāpitaha Jiva sarvamalan muktaha Swarnavat dyotate swayam. Sravanadibhihi. How interesting this sloka, just pay attention. By listening, constant listening, Sravanam, Uddipta, kindled, Jnanagni Paritapita, heated Tapita. Paritapita is Paritaha Tapita, again and again heated. How and where? In the fire of knowledge. Heated in the fire of knowledge. Jivaha, the individuality. Sarva malan, from all impurities. Muktaha, freed. Swarnavat, like gold. Dyotate, shines. Swayam, by itself. The jiva, on being heated in the fire of knowledge, kindled by repeated listening to the scriptures and so on, becomes free from all impurities and shines by itself like gold. So the prose order, Shravanadivihi Uddipta Jnana Agni Paritapitaha Jivaha Swarnavat Sarva Malat Muktah San Swayam Dyotate. Again, I am telling how easy the Sanskrit language. See, Shravanadivihi Uddipta Jnanagni Paritapitaha Jivaha Swarnavat Sarva Malat Muktah San Swayam Dvotate. Clear? So, in our childhood, we have seen that there is a blower. One lamp is lighting. So with the blower, the goldsmith used to blow. And the fire is going to the gold or any, mainly we are discussing on gold. And it shines. Likewise, and not one time, many times. Likewise, if the blow comes from the Guru's mouth in the form of Upadesha or teachings and repeated, Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam, then in our Rid Kunda or in our intellect, when the fire of knowledge gets kindled, then the jiva becomes free from Abhimana Mala, the dart of self-pride, the dart of individuality. And he comes to know that I am that Brahman. So, there is only one consciousness. What is Brahman? What we consider that supreme consciousness. Actually, Guru deliberately superimposed by using this word supreme consciousness. There is only one consciousness available. Everywhere. There is no second consciousness. Only one consciousness. Outside and inside. So what is individuality? It is Chidabhasa. It is reflected consciousness in a medium called Antahkarana. Clear? So now, how we experience that Chaitanya or consciousness? By aham, 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 aham. Always that feeling is there inside, even when we sleep. I. But at the deep sleep, everything drops down, including my inner instrument. That's why we can't understand that I feeling. When we understand it very well, then we will find that there is no matter in this whole universe. There is only consciousness. In that understanding, whatever the matter we will see, including this body, we can surely conclude that this is mithya, unreal. Because Chaitanya or consciousness cannot be perceived. Main problem is we can't see consciousness. We only see others' body, sentient or insentient. So like mobile phone in insentient, but I see only mobile phone. Very simple example I give, that I see my face, but I ignore the light. Because if in this room there is no light, I can't see my face also. But we ignore the light portion. We pay attention only to the name and the form. So whatever we in previous sloka, there was deliberate superimposition that Guru was telling, whatever we are seeing, that is consciousness only or Brahman only. And in conclusion, we came to know that there is no everything, all, anything else. This is all are out of delusion. There is only consciousness. Now, gold means the jiva. Jiva is nothing but gold. See, when in the mines, the gold remains in the ore form, there are three impurities mainly: mala, vikshepa, mala, avarana, vikshepa. Mala means in the form of likes and dislikes. Avarana is covering. Vikshepa is distracting or distracted mind. So, what the metallurgic people do, they take that ore and put it into the fire. And they give some catalyst, anughata. And then the gold glitters. But always think the shining of the gold is not transported from outside. It's the gold's swarupa. It is its own intrinsic nature. It was inside. Like a sculpture, he got a big piece of stone and he made a beautiful idol out of it. So one asked that sculptor that how did you make this beautiful sculpture? He told, I have no credit, believe me. The idol was inside the stone. I only removed the unwanted portion. So, all the jnanam, all the knowledge actually removes our mental dirt, then our consciousness is not some external thing which is uh, forcefully indulged. It's an inside matter. So, what is the difference between a jnani and a jnani? What is the difference between a wise person and an ignorant? Externally, there is no difference. The difference is in vision. In Bhagavad Gita, if we consider, we will see that Arjuna has complaint after complaint. And Bhagavan never told to avoid anything else. I will start Gita explanation very soon. But I think every one of these class, they have heard little bit of Gita or complete good Gita many times. So Bhagavan never told to avoid anything else. What Bhagavan told? Bhagavan told just change your attitude and face the brute. Don't run away. So vision, when the Mahabharata war, the great war where the whole world was really mainless, it was told that no men were there. Everyone was killed. Everyone means very few, which is not under the counting. But what the sages told, they told we are seeing only the divine play of God. But other people told a lot of things, lot of critics. So, why people love Sona? Means gold. Because gold never loses its shine. Jiva is nothing but consciousness alone. When he realizes it, when he becomes free from the darts. What is fire? Fire is here Sravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam and Sadhana Chatushtaya. Always remember. So, some problem many times happened in different organizations. And people many times ask that Swamiji, they are listening to Vedanta for so many years. They are taking classes. Yet, why this sort of problem? Why people are quarreling inside or like that? Why the Jnanam is not taking part? Because one thing, lack of sadhana chatushtaya. So paritapitaha means it will be fired not one time, again and again, again and again, again and again. Then finally the jiva will continue to shine. Truth has been revealed in Upanishad by the very famous process of Adhyaropa Apavada. Deliberate superimposition and negation. The truth devoid of creation, the truth is truth alone. creation is just as an appearance, as snake or anything else appeared in on the rope in a semi-darkness, in semi-darkness. So any jnana chakshu sampanna manava, the one who is imbibed with the eye of knowledge, who is having pure mind and clear knowledge. Because I told yesterday, very good point. But for this condition, two things are mainly required. Purity of mind, clarity of knowledge. Please write it in your heart. And how that purity of mind will come? By sadhana chatushtaya. And clarity of knowledge will come Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. Clear? And if we consider the Atma Bodha 27th sloka, Rajju Sarpavat Atmanam Jivam Jnatva Bhayam Bahet Naham Jiva Paramatmeti or Paramatma iti Jnanah Chit Nirbhayah Bhavet. Can you remember? That just as the person who regards a rope as a snake is overcome by fear, so also one considering oneself as the ego or jiva is overcome by fear. The egocentric individuality in us becomes fearless by realizing that it is not a jiva but the supreme self. Unless and until we understand, we know who we are, there should be a fear factor. Fear of dying, fear of losing power, losing body, anything else. Only because, I can remember in Belur Math, there is an Arogya Bhavan, where all old monks, all old monks, they stay when they are diseased. I have seen some paralyzed monk, but who were really established in Vedanta, In special days, I used to go to do prostration, to do pranam to the old monks. And they used to tell, even though they are wholly paralyzed, they used to tell, I am Brahman. I am not a jiva. I am, that is why the world is. See that level of understanding. No regression, that whole life I have prayed to Bhagavan, and what happened to me in last age? See, nothing. They are always happy, always jovial, no complaint. If now, different thing. If something is completely unknown, then there is no desire to know. Because what should I know? It is completely unknown to me. Do you have any time to know the meaning of floxinosilihilipilification? Because maybe this is the first time you are listening to that word. But now we have heard this word, that floxinosilihilipilification. So now you have that desire to know what is that? What is that? So we flip the pages, or nowadays Google is there. And if anything is absolutely known to me, there is also nothing, no desire to know. So there is something else which is in a mixed condition. Some part is known, some part is unknown. That is called semi-darkness. That Rajju Sarpa example comes here. That the piece of rope is placed in such an environment where little darkness and little light. So misconception grows up what it is. Is it a snake? Is it a dried garland? Is it a piece of wood log? Anything else? So if it is completely dark, means completely unknown, we have no desire. If it is full of light, it is absolutely clear that it is a snake. But in a semi-darkness condition, in a mixed condition of knowing and unknowing, that misunderstanding happens. Means partially known, partially unknown. In case of Brahman also, we have the same thing. Partial knowledge. That is why a lot of people is telling, suppose diabetic person, when they eat sugar, you know what they tell? Doctor has prohibited me. I know it is not good for me, but my Atma wants, you know, Swamiji, that is why I eat. So for them, Atma is partially known, you know. So this is the thing. I partly know about Atma. Which part I know? I know the existence and consciousness portion, Sat and Chit portion. Because I exist, I see myself, I feel myself. And I'm talking, and moving my hands means I'm conscious. But the Ananda or bliss portion is missing, unknown. Clear? I think it's clear to you. Very interesting now. So that is why we started listening to Vedanta, that what that ravish fellows always blabber, that you are Ananda Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa. They can't see my anxiety, my depression every day. And they tell that you are that supreme bliss, supreme bliss. Where is bliss, Baba? I'm always crying. But they are all knowledgeable people. Maybe something there. So we come to the Acharya. Some people say, I am having yoga class from morning, you know. You have no idea, Swamiji, how I am busy in the morning, how I manage. Okay. But you know, if one class, any day, anyone attends, I am that supreme bliss. So I have to attend, you know, that thing comes. So Vedanta says you are the Jagat Karana. You are the cause of this universe. You are that infinite. You are that infinitude. So study of Vedanta means to know what I am. Is it so? Because what I am, I know. I am a short fellow, dark skin, very fat, fully bearded, so ugly. I know myself. So why I am reading Vedanta? I am studying Vedanta to know my infinitude. For the identification with the kosha, with the sheaths, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya. We can't understand ourselves. But if we do sadhana, spiritual practices in a right direction, then I can negate all these identifications. Then only I realize I am not that person. Na aham jivaha, aham paramatma. How I will get this knowledge? Sravanadivhihi uddipta jnanagni paritapitaha. This verse, 66th verse. So in Brahma Sutra, there is a word, avritti. What in Bengali we mostly call abritti, abritti, abritti. No, it is avritti. One should go on studies. Go on studies. This is called paritapita. How long? As long that understanding is firmly rooted in me that I am Brahman. I am not this body. Until that continuous Sravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam, Sravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam with sadhana chatushtaya, that fourfold spiritual practice, then only the knowledge will take place. Sravanam is not merely hearing or deeper hearing or listening. Not only that, Sravanam means listening with understanding. Vedanta has only one thing to communicate, that I am Brahman. That is the central theme of any Upanishad. When I can understand or when I listen to Vedanta with that understanding, yes, I am Brahman and I want to be established in this knowledge. If that sort of mental state is there in me and I sit for listening, that is called Sravanam. It is not like that 9 o'clock the Vedanta class is there and I have no work, I am sitting over here. This is not Sravanam. To strengthen my conviction that I am Brahman alone. With this mindset, if I listen to Vedanta, if I listen to my guru or teacher or acharya, this is called Sravanam. Means understanding through Vedanta Pramanam. We should not get lost by anything else. Means no negative thinking should hit me that I know everything else, I know these things, I know. No. At least at the time of Sravanam, you should think that I don't know anything else. Guru Vakya, the words coming through the teacher, is everything is for me. With this mind only Sravanam is possible. Mananam. What is Mananam? If I understand that Brahman is only one, alone, Ekam eva advitiya. Brahman is Advaita, non-dual. and there will not come any doubt. Means notion of duality. Logically reasoning, through logical reasoning, when I can negate, that is manana. And when we are failure to be an abheda sadhaka, so the thing is, Aveda sadhaka means all such logical analysis which negate the duality. So Sravanam should be thorough. It strengthens our understanding. Mananam is there for this. But our problem is we still think that Ananda comes from outside because we pay attention, we pay Satyatva Buddhi, the sense of reality in outside that it will give me. For that, deep contemplation is needed. Again and again, we have to think, we have to ask ourselves that can there be anything what is defect free? So, for that, I'm just telling, you have to include God in your life of sadhana. Then the sadhana, the spiritual practice will be easier. The spiritual, then only it is possible. Some little more is remaining. To gain the knowledge of Vedanta, 3 courses are recommended. We have told that listening to the truth from scriptures and explained by the teacher, this is called Sravanam. Second one is reasoning of the truth, heard, which is heard. Logical analysis. This is with the light of Vedanta, not with the light of mind, my old previous vasanas reasoning. No, with the light of the Upanishad only, we have to give some logical analysis, reasoning. That is called Mananam. And third one is deep contemplation on what has been heard and reasoned out. This is called Nididhyasana. So, spiritual discipline is listened to, cleanse the mind of its impurities. After that, a removal of ignorance or avidya alone enables the revelation of the absolute truth. It is a spontaneous experience of one's own self, and an earnest seeker of truth who is able to kindle the fire of knowledge in his pure heart and who is free from doubts and fears and anxiety and depression and realizes the self in him. So the egocentric personality or jiva or jivatma has to rid itself of its own limitations when it rediscovers its real nature as the eternal self. The gold ore as it comes out of the mines is contaminated with a lot of impurities, but when it is washed, heated, and poured, then the molten brilliance of the gold comes to acquire its real glory and beauty. So too, when the individuality is heated and purified in meditation, the self comes to shine in its essential immortal nature. Hari Om Tat Sat.